I'm on my legally allotted break. Really, I'm supposed to be here.
Oh, what I...
Nothing. Nothing.
Why? Does it...
Laws, I knew it! You got me. I work in the lab at the Ministry of Accuracy and Morale. Some of my sprats went missing, but it's not my fault, okay? Maybe I let them out more often than regulations allow. And so what if I occasionally forgot to latch their... They escaped, and before I could coax them back, they'd made their way to the maintenance tunnel. Even if I did dare go down there, they're among all the common sewer sprats. Really? In that case, they have intelligent eyes, an agreeable yet reserved demeanor, and a Please, do take care, and do mime the exterminator mechanicals, if the worst should happen to my little dog. To deal with the sewer sprats, of course. They're quite the nuisance. I still am. After all, I'm a person of very little influence and only middling prospect. But I must say, I'm far too distressed to think critically about your suspiciously kind...
We're doing this! Someone else will clean this up, right? Opening fire! System. Coming, Captain! Keep this up and I won't have any battle scars. radicals are assholes. You gotta teach me that. Nice going. I never could have handled the desk job. Fair mistake. How'd you do that so fast? You got nimble fingers, Captain. You're so nice one. I thought nothing fun ever happened in this town.
Any luck finding my... Truly? Why, this is and all safe and sound. Oh, please, take this. It's not much, but it's the best. Now, I've got to get back to the lab before my...
Out with it, you wretched contraption!
You grew up in the same team, right? Don't rub it in. Oh, don't get all prickly. I just haven't met someone who left the highlights on purpose. There's my parents' place. Smell that? Industrial grade cleaning solvent.
Marilyn, is that you?
Laws, we certainly didn't and I didn't expect you to renew your marriage contract. But we're all full of surprises. Speaking of surprises, you should meet my new friend. We've been... There you go again, Captain. Always menacing polite society. Anyway, you're probably wondering where I've been all this time.
Not exactly.
The last few years have been a bloody haze. You wouldn't believe the messes we've gotten ourselves into. Right? Yep, we're a pair of disgraceful lowlifes.
Marilyn, this really isn't the best time. Perhaps you should go.
I mean, we had other business in Byzantium, so it's not like we went out of our way. But you can't just kick us out. We'll stay as long as we like. And while we're at it, we'll drink your expensive hooch, wear our outside shoes all over your nice floors. He's right. Since when can you afford authentic Terran marble?
That's what we've been trying to tell you, dear, but you must understand, we hadn't heard from you in ages.
We thought you were dead.
I'm not dead. I just never wanted to talk to you again.
I'm afraid the distinction was lost on us, darling.
We only did what any grieving parents in our position would do. We collected on your life insurance policy.
And the payouts have been rather, substantial.
You what?
What vulgar company you keep, Marilyn.
Well, now that I'm here, I guess you'll just have to report back that I'm very...
It's not that simple. For one thing, we'd have to cut back on so many necessities.
Why did you do that?
We had to explain your disappearance.
We couldn't very well tell people you'd run off to become a... Shh! Someone could hear you.
We concocted a story about Celeste Jollycurl designing a pair of 12-inch heels
One of a kind, naturally.
that led to your tragic death when you tripped and...
It was quite the story. People were talking about it for...
Not until I get some answers. Couldn't you have at least made up a better story? Something with pirates? And what are you gonna do now that we're here?
Yes, about that. We were just about...
Quietly. If... She hasn't changed a bit, I see.
That's it? You just want us to disappear now?
Marilyn.
Don't cause a scene.
Let's just get out of here, Captain. Fine. I'm gone.
Let's talk outside. Can we talk?
Can you believe those two? We'd hardly been there a minute and they turned us out like yesterday's But not like I wanted. I had it all planned out. They'd both be sitting there watching one of their vapid aether. Mother would drop her mock apple cider, and the glass would shatter all over their overpriced marble. Father would tear off his... I'd have a great one-liner in the tube. I was thinking either, the leather's fake but the scars are real, or, oops, did I just track awesome onto your rug? Yeah, I'm gonna use that one day. Now, getting back to my story. Father would throw his hands up, because this would be just like me, to come. Then, Mother would do the old, "You had us worried sick." Her... I just didn't want to get booted out of the house I grew up in like that. It's embarrassing, you know? I hope you don't think I'm talking about this because I want to be introspective. But I want to talk about me now. You really know how to cheer a girl. I would have fixed a drink if I knew we were in for one. Anyway, I don't want to sift through this lousy experience for meaningful life. Wait a second. What if I could get that money? I could open a new account, designate that account holder as a sole beneficiary. All the payouts would go to me. I'll make money without doing a thing. And as long as I don't develop a taste for Wool Gonzola and bad legal dramas, that's fine by me. Maybe you could use some of your people skills. If that doesn't work, I'm sure we can find one of their terminals and do it ourselves.
What was it like being one of them top runners? Hey, my parents and their gold-shitting friends are top runners, not me. It wouldn't shock me if those... I ever tell you about this one patient? One had her eyebrows moved up and the tip of her nose raised. What? Why? Was she trying to disguise herself? Was she on the run or something?
I've always loved that.
So she'd always be looking down on everyone. You are making that up. Making stuff up is work. This is real.
The dissidents actually...
I guess we're going to Fallbrook.
Down there, a new ship. Doesn't look like any of the corporate freighters.
Captain, if you're looking for crew... We're in orbit over Cascadia, Captain.
Hey, guess. Knock, knock.
This looks like the way.
Welcome to the offices of the Greater Halcyon Insurance. I'm obligated to inform you that our coverage does not extend to incident. Some people, but no one in this office, I assure you.
It's like they say, there's no cure for that.
So, what kind of insurance package can I interest you in? We're not on Monarch. For all practical and tax-related purposes, this office is an official... Oh, it's certainly not about what I say. That's all down to our legal team. I remember that one. That's the young socialite who broke her neck, right?
Of course, no one remembers me for the marauders I've killed or the bits I've stolen.
That claim was airtight. Our best investigators couldn't find an exclusion for that one. You can't, of course. Only Miss Fenhill can assign her beneficiaries. And she's dead. If we let every friend, relative, and acquaintance change a policy like that, people would do it all the time. Imagine the paperwork. Of course she is. The paperwork says so.
I like to think she's dead in spirit, but technically, legally, and regretfully, I'm still Marilyn Fenhill.
That's impossible. By all accounts, she was an elegant and classy woman with impossibly fine bone structure. That couldn't possibly be you.
That's gotta be the nicest thing anyone's said to me in a long...
Oh, you mean hypothetically? Well, hypothetically, you'd access the terminal in the back room. And you'd, theoretically, add the beneficiary of your... But you wouldn't actually do that, of course. That would be fraud. Please, my policy only covers paper cuts and wrist strain. Very well, I'll do it. But then you've got to go. Confrontations like this will raise my... I'll need the name of the new beneficiary.
Ellie Fenhill?
If you say so. The payouts will flow exclusively into the new account. I hope Ms. Fenhill enjoys her newfound...
You really did it. Give these payouts a few years and I'll be rolling in it. I've never been prouder to stand back and watch someone else. I'm just glad my folks aren't gonna live off that awful story they made up. Maybe now they'll have to go back to real joy. Come on, I thought we were celebrating. Maybe you haven't noticed, but you can't even count on a bribe making it into the right pocket. What's the point of planning for anything around here? Hate to say it, but Halcyon's already there. Anyway, enough of that. You did a job for me, so here's your fee. Don't make it weird. Even you've got to be in it for the money now and then. I always thought it meant we get used to the smell of each other's dirty... But you really do see a rosier... Well, I've got a few years of experience that would suggest... Still, maybe you've got a point. Maybe it's good to watch someone's back now and then. So... you just keep the money. Don't mention it. Really. This feels weird enough as it is.
Whoa. Hold 'em. Dude.
Captain, Felix and the Vicar are... arguing again.
Hey, you. Looking for some... Where do you think you're going? Hey, nice form. Good delivery, too. You looking to join Captain... All right, go. Got my sights on you.
Ages since we had a good haul. No freighters, no jobs, no contracts in weeks. Standing around.
Well, hey there, Hullhead. Clawed your way out of the groundbreaker at long...
Uh-huh. Oh, sorry, were you expecting me to say something? Maybe a long time no see? I thought you were dead. Or throwing yourself against the walls of some re-education center. It's been 5 years, Clyde. The best thing you can say is, hey there, Hullhead?
No, Felix. The best thing I can say to you is yet to come. Also, I'd like to have a word with your So, you took Felix under your wing. Kept him busy. Good.
I don't know what you're trying to say, but he's earned his keep with us.
Hear that, Clyde? I've been making something out of myself.
So long as you haven't been making a fool of yourself. I'm sure Felix has no end of stories to tell of your exploits together. I look forward to catching up with the boy. I'm working on something. Something big. Something the likes of which Halcyon has never seen. I'm fulfilling a promise I made to the boy, that one day, he and I would change the colony together. That day has finally arrived.
Easy there, Clyde. No one said nothing about throwing in with you. In case you didn't notice, I'm pretty happy where I am.
I'm not asking you to walk away from your captain, Felix. But neither should you allow yourself to be controlled by fear. Change is not to be. I brought you here because I want to know where Felix's loyalties lie. When the day of our revolution comes, I want to know that I can rely on it. I understand that Felix is part of your crew, at least for now. If the thought of losing him troubles you, then understand that you're helping him solve a problem. I want you to deal with a traitor for me. Name's Trask. Kill him, and bring me proof of his death. Ratted us out to the board. He's been an informant. Has been for years. When he realized I was onto him, he and his little cadre mutinied. Killed 5 of my own and tucked tail. I don't know where he's hiding, but his wife might. Rosanna. Lives on the groundbreaker last I checked. Rosanna knows my crew by name and face, but you're a stranger to her. She'll talk to you.
You think so? Maybe we should have a word with Trask. Get his side of the story first.
You'd be wasting your breath bandying words with that traitor. But if it makes you feel... Remember, I want proof. Here, my token. Think of this as my personal signature. Anyone who knows me by my works will know me by this token.
Can we talk?
Clyde's got a crew of his own, huh? Did you want to ask me I know. Clyde comes off rougher than Mantisaur hide. He's a good guy, though. Just gotta get to know him. Yeah, I'm still not over that. You'd think a grown man would know how to let go of his past. Yeah, I think I'm starting to feel the same way. Got the feeling he was looking down. Maybe we should go have a word with Trask.
Captain, I've been thinking something about this
You want to expand?
Come on, Felix. He's obviously up to something. Glad it's not just me. The way Harlow is leaning on his revolutionary bona fides, not to mention his knowing Felix back in the day, something about it feels off.
Clyde's a decent fellow. I mean, it's not like I'd take up with some double-dealing crook, right?
And you're acting like those things are normal. Preferences and drinking buddies are normal, inclinations and acquaintances even. You can fit most of what drives people onto a bit cartridge. The minute someone claims highfalutin notions, they're... 1 in 1,000 actually means it. Nothing more dangerous than an idealist.
What do you think you're doing? Best make yourself scared.
Some crew members are causing a disturbance. We've arrived at the groundbreaker.
You mind trying to have a moment here? Rufus and I are no longer on speaking terms. I don't know where he is. That's Harlow's mark, no mistake. Guess he's not letting this one go. I don't want any manner of harm befalling Rufus.
We're not? Oh, right, yeah. We're non-violent sorts. Real diplomatic.
Rufus is hiding out in Emerald Vale. Got a few friends with...
Captain, if you're looking for crew members... We are now in orbit above Edgewater, Captain.
Heads up, boss! Nobody messes with you, boss! Woo! We all in one piece?
They can't keep us up.
All right, let's fly it!
I don't know who you are or why you're one of Harlow's gun hands, ain't you? Yeah, of course. Thing is, you and I are at an impasse. Harlow wants me... Harlow wants my ring? Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. A ring's a lot easier... How do I know that I can Yeah, guess that's a fair point. Listen, I don't know what lies Harlow's dripped down your ear, but you'd be a fool to trust him. I never betrayed Harlow. Harlow betrayed all of us. The board's got him in their pocket, been paying him off for years. All that palaver about revolutions? It's a lie.
You can't be serious. I've known the guy for years.
Yeah, that's about how I reacted when I found out. That's the whole truth. Harlow's just another board asset. A two-bit mercenary where... Yeah, I've got proof. There's always a paper trail when the board's involved. I chanced upon some correspondence between Harlow and his employer. I don't know that it makes a difference. What was I to do with that evidence? Bring it in front of the board? There's no authority in Halcyon. Huh. You ain't like other board agents I heard about. You got a functioning spine. You want to confront Harlow? I hid my papers before Harlow chased me out. Back in the middle of the base, there's an old vent in a utility corridor. Because he's for sale. Anything the board can buy, the board will buy. And that includes loyalty. Harlow... With Harlow in their pocket, the board had an informant, a pirate, a smuggler, and a gang leader all rolled up into one odious excuse for a human being. Board-sanctioned piracy. Harlow went after the ships the board wanted destroyed, capturing anybody that... If we captured you, we'd ransom you. Harlow liked to do the job himself. Gather up the captives on his own ship, vanish for a couple of... Only that's not what happened. Harlow's been selling his captives off to the board. I don't know where they... Take it you've made up your mind. You gonna tell Harlow I'm dead? May as well. I'm never going back to that life again. Here, take the ring. And for what it's worth, my gratitude.
Some crew members are causing a disturbance on the ship. I'll lock up.
What's the word? So it is. Thus ends Rufus Trask. Once a sensible...
Hope his gas bag's paying us by the hour.
I hope you never have to discover what it is like, Captain. The relief one feels when a mutant...
And Trask had some things to say about you.
That's a damning accusation. Those papers don't prove a thing. We've all done business with the board. They own the whole damn colony. Trask put you up to this. That miserable wretch. He's trying... You've got a lot of nerve calling me a liar to my face. How should I know? What the hell do I care? Trask was a traitor, and I didn't ask you to understand his motives. I asked you to cross him off.
Clyde, look me in the eye and tell me it's not true. Tell me, and I'll believe you.
Don't talk to me like I'm some common criminal, Felix. You're the one on trial, not me. I don't know what kind of poison that snake dripped in your ear, but as far as I'm concerned, you've been compromised.
Take your best shot!
Who's ready for more?
Heads up!
What was that? Didn't even get our hands dirty.
Didn't I request no more fertilizer shipments be brought on board? Who keeps ordering these?
This is def... The void's black, water's wet, and Clyde hated the board. That's something I just knew. Yeah, no kidding, boss. You made that clear as day. I've just got a lot on my mind right now. I always looked up to Clyde. The thought that he could be an agent of the board is just abhorrent. It's pretty harsh, boss. You including yourself in that lesson? Yeah, I guess I don't know what you're about. But I know you treated me fair. You've given me a lot to think about. I'm gonna be mulling over this whole mess for I don't know what I believe anymore. Thanks for your time, boss.
I understand. We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.
My cousin's in pictures. That business with piracy is civil.
Great! You made it! Listen, I know you're expecting a script. We gave the other actors real weapons to keep things authentic. And because Josh is paying to see their logo on the big screen. Don't think, kid. Just act. Now go in there, find your mark, and show us what you...
Well, well. Here to stop us at last, Captain Steele? You're too late. All of this settlement CNP Hungry Time food pills, same nutritional value, but now with added filler. With their patented stomach stuffing effects and baseline vitamin content, They are? What an unexpected twist! You may have fooled me for now, but not...
Can I shoot someone? Wait, are we the good guys or the bad guys? Doesn't matter. I want to shoot someone.
Do you remember the last time we faced each other? The Battle of Axejack, staring one another down across the void of space. Hey, I didn't write this. Just go with it. I had you surrounded and outgunned, but you overcame my superior numbers with tactical thinking and a Hammersmith limited edition grenade launcher. I've been waiting for 5 years now, and at last my day... Yes, it is.
This what passes for entertainment around here? They ought to try tossing back a Spectrum Red and going rapt hunting. Someone's bound to lose an eye.
Hey, no one told me we were giving critics an early look. I gotta focus, okay? I have this whole port wired with sub-micro energon transistors. Once we're away, I'll activate the gamma particulate field and the quantaponic chain reaction will turn this whole place into vaporized plasma. And I spent 3 hours learning how to pronounce them. I hope you've paid your burial fees and signed your personal death and dismemberment waivers because this is the end for you. You're not even taking this seriously. I refuse to work like this. I've done Aether Wave spots for what? To the break room, everyone. I need my Moab fizzy tea.
Cut! That was interesting, kid. Real novel take. Let's take 5.
Hey, listen, I appreciate what you tried there. Look, sometimes you just gotta wait. Here, take this for making the trip down here. Don't call us.
Rizzo's Purple Berry Crunch, Triple Flakes, and Purple Berry flavored.
Do you mind? I'm meeting someone. Oh. You mean I'm supposed to be meeting you? Yeah, you're looking to make contact with Minister... Magpie. I should warn you, it won't be easy. He spends most of his time in his estate. Afraid not. He almost never leaves his home. I've always been fascinated by birds. If you ever research Earth species, there are thousands of them.
All of them trying to eat you,
The other thing about birds, though, is their environmental indicators. Exactly. I started thinking about everything we see around Halcyon. For starters, you rarely come across anyone living in Byzantium who wasn't born here, even though we get ships in all the time.
Trust me, anyone with a lick of sense gets out of here as soon as possible.
But most people don't. In fact, most people Doesn't that seem strange? And then there's the way nothing gets fixed. There used to be a suggestion box around here. People would drop ideas in. Nothing ever came of them, of course. I mean, there's a shredder at the bottom of the box, so I don't know what you'd expect to happen. But one day the shredder broke. No one came to fix it, and since it wasn't working, we didn't have anywhere to file our complaints. So you can imagine how At first, management put up an out-of-order sign, but that just seemed to worry people, like they were advertising something wasn't working. They eventually took the whole suggestion box sign down so that people didn't but they never fixed it, never replaced it. Doesn't that... I don't know how else people are supposed to complain about things they can't change, but that's not the point.
If things are broken here, of all places, then...
Things have kept on running this long, right? The whole episode made me wonder if they... After a while, I got connected with our mutual friend.
Like a wrapped among the rocks. Byzantine life seems awful cushy. Could get myself used to kicking back for a spell. It's all paperwork, ass-kissing, and stuffy parties where everyone eats too much. An overabundance of food sounds just fine to me. Not when you're on call, pumping stomachs all night. Hey, sorry about your folks, Ellie. I'm just sorry I forgot to search the liquor cabinet before we left. I know that's a joke, but be careful. I lost someone once. After I buried him, I raided his Rizzo stash for a bit of comfort. And I ain't stopped drinking.
This property is off limits. Solicitors, loiterers, and uninvited visitors will be... This ultimatum brought to you by That's funny. The minister isn't expecting visitors, and you don't much look like one. Sure you are. And what is it you're delivering? Typical. Why don't you come back when you're ready to act? There's nothing to see here.
Chasing us off already? This feels...
Ma'am, please don't cause a scene. Do you have any actual business here, or...
Something's there. Nailed it, Cap. Nice one. You gotta teach me that.
The Acropolis District.
You could have asked me, you know.
What in the law's name are you on about? Sure. Let me just take that off your hand. Did I say restricted area? Slip of the tongue. What I meant was...
I never could have handled the desk job.
You... Oh, there. That's one right there.
There's nothing to see here. Yeah? Looks like... All right.
Nice and easy.
Hey, you! Hey! Me? I'm watching for Well, Look, I don't have any visitors on file today. UDL related, or...
How did you get in here?
I'm not sure I have ever, in my entire life, felt more out of place than I do at this moment.
State your business. Please step away. This entry is for Huh. I didn't realize we were still using those iridescent stickers. I'll just need you to register your weapons with a revised request to carry 32B form. I'm not authorized to employ human... Now, let's see. Damn it. I was going to suggest that myself. Look, you don't have time to wait on new forms, and I can't afford the citations for impeding HAC business. So I'm going to save us both some trouble and waive your form. Just know there are a bunch of guards upstairs, and they're all high on dervish mist and low on patience. So try anything...
Excuse me, just a moment. I beg your pardon, Minister Clark's former office is What? Oh dear. Thank you for reminding me.
Just goes to show you never really see your hometown until you travel.
Good afternoon. I'm Chairman Rockwell, and I'm here to address a serious issue facing us. As you all know, our colony has been successful beyond our wildest dreams. Unfortunately, we've recently discovered that our food supply will not be able to sustain Halcyon's population in the long term. Everyone will die. Everyone will slowly stop living from malnutrition. But we're doing it together, and that's what matters. I fucking swear, if someone doesn't give me something to read that will placate the masses soon, all of you will find yourselves violently unemployed. But I can assure you there's nothing to fear. We've got a solution. It's called the Lifetime Employment Program. We will freeze most of the colony to preserve resources, while the best and brightest of Byzantium continue living in prosperity. Look, you idiots! How many times do I have to tell you we can't say shit like that? Fire whoever wrote this! While Halcyon's brightest minds solve the problem of our nutritional shortage, the rest of the colony will be placed in suspended animation. Individuals will be revived on a rotating basis, so that every Halcyonite can be part of the important work of saving our colony. By testing paperweights. Sorry, couldn't resist. Let's go again. And someday, in the not-too-distant future when we've solved this crisis, we'll all be back together again working for the good of Halcyon. Until then, the board shall provide for the deserving just as it always has. So, obey your supervisors, take your vitamins, follow your corporate-mandated grooming rituals, and rest assured with the board on your side, there is nothing to worry about.
Guess the whole colony's up a creek. I thought it was just Monarch.
I don't know about you, but I'm all for living fast and dying young. Making it look easy.
I think I'm gonna start taking my lunches out in the city. That woman from the council.
That scientist? The one who's been hounding the clerks?
Hey, did Tillman get transferred or something?
That's right. You weren't here when it happened. Some UDL officers took him into custody.
Oh, law, what did they take him for?
UDL's been questioning anybody with possible connections to Phineas Wells. And, well...
What do you think you're doing? My mistake. Don't let the guards hear you ask me questions or speaking back.
No visitors allowed, citizen. What? I don't need to see your identification. Move along.
Oh, you are in for that! Incoming!
Keep your eyes out for dissidents.
ice going?
Why was I built to feel on? You have a message from Adjutant.
No one ever looks quite the same in person as they do in my report. And my reports of you have been exceptionally thorough. You have something I want. I'd like to negotiate. I'm not here to talk about stolen chemicals. I'm after something far more valuable. Your cooperation. Phineas Wells is wanted by the board. He has a litany of charges against him. Vandalism, illegal experimentation, sedition. Wells is a dangerous madman. His plan is going to endanger everyone in Halcyon. He's an obsessive psychopath. You're in contact with Wells. I want you to send us a tracing signal from his communication terminal. You are making this.
Adjutant Akonde's call. We have successfully arrived at Phineas's orbital lab, Captain, and we are still in one piece. Shall I congratulate myself, or would you like to do the honors?
Myself busy in your absence, optimized. All I need now is the dimethyl sulfoxide. I'll take as much as you can. What? Oh, yes, well, that's obvious. Anyone with 2 working labs can see this colony's slouching toward oblivion. Why do you think we've been doing all this? I revived you to help me save Halcyon. Hold on. Let me see if I understand this correctly. You're saying that Halcyon's on the brink of total collapse, and the chairman's plan to save all of us is to save himself? I always knew Halcyon was heading toward a systems collapse, but I never imagined we were already there. The board made this crisis, and now they want to solve it by freezing the rest of us? That's not a plan. That's a goddamn escape clause. That makes 2 things we don't have. Time and chemicals to revive the other settlers. None of this was supposed to happen. I was supposed to revive the Hope's colonists. We were supposed to have enough time to solve the problem before we all starved. Human test subjects. Oh, that's grotesque. That's Damn, that's not enough. Not nearly enough for the whole ship. I could revive a handful of settlers. Maybe, possibly, we're out of time. We're out of chemicals. We may very well be out of options. If the board has their way, we're all going to be spending the rest of our lives frozen in stasis. Do you realize what this means for the Hope? For your fellow colonists? The board's going to kill them all. Toss them out into space, just to make room. Short of lining up every member of the board and shooting them in the back of the head. Do you know what's waiting for us on the Hope? Scientists, engineers, artists, the brightest minds Earth ever sent us. The board's going to dispose of them all and transform the Hope into a prison for the rest. We need to get to those colonists before the board. I have enough chemicals to start reviving a few of them, but no easy way to get them off the Hope. Merciful gibbering law, you're a genius! We bring the Hope to us. Skip the entire ship across the distance of colony space, right next to my lab. Yes, Yes, exactly. You're a step ahead of me, but I perceive the shape of your plan. If we link up the Hope to the Unreliable, then use your navigational computer to calculate a reasonably safe vector, we can skip the entire colony ship into the Rings of Terra 2.
I've got a healthy disregard for personal safety, but this sounds crazy, even to me.
Your instincts are correct. By any reasonable definition of sanity, this plan is crazy. You'll need to switch on the Hope's auxiliary power using the Unreliable. Then head to the bridge. Once you've skipped the Hope next to my lab, I'll have easy access to the frozen colonists. I can start reviving them immediately. Certainly. Unlikely. The Hope is as massive as the Groundbreaker, but compared to the Rings of Terra, the board might notice, possibly, depending on the... I know you're wondering why I'm doing all this. Why I believe the people on the Hope are the answer to the colony's problems. The Hope is carrying some of humanity's most brilliant thinkers. The board would have us believe Halcyon is beyond saving. Oh, it's not you. I do experiments in that room. Some of them get quite scientific. The unexpected is to be treasured. But regardless, it's quite comfortable in here, you know. I have my beans, have my caffeinoids, plenty of toilet paper.
Can we talk?
So we're really gonna... I've seen lots of crazy, Captain. Do you really think he knows what he's doing? There's a sobering thought. Here... I think his whole plan's insane, but it'll make a good story. Speaking of, I get that Phineas thinks he's saving the colony, but what about you? I'll do anything for a good story, and nothing shines on a pirate's resume like a successful... But I asked you first. I'm gonna try to forget that you've been calling the shots this whole time. Still, all this depends on the other Hope colonists. Are they gonna pull us out of the shit? Or are we all just gonna leave a... I'd settle for a bottle of whiskey and some lubrinicine, but I've never been much of a self-starter. Well, whenever you're... The part with the Hope, I mean, not the other thing. Anything else?
Crew members Ellie and Max are engaged in a heated... We have arrived at the Hope. You'll have to connect me to the Hope's comm system, so... If your calculations are even slightly off, you could crash the entire... or the sun. Captain, I hope Dr. Wells has not dragged you into one of his irrational schemes again. My diagnosis of his mental stability is... not flattering.
Nice going. Can't think of much worse than drooling on your pillow in front of a bunch of strangers.
That's the Hope's computer up ahead. I'll admit, I am curious to wake him. Greetings, Captain. I am speaking to you through the Hope's computer system. It's a rather cramped... Are you sure? That is extremely dangerous. And also potentially kill an entire planet. Jump-starting the skip drive.
In case I don't get another chance to say it, it's been interesting, Captain.
Doing it. I mean, affirmative. Skipping the Hope in 3, 2, 1.
ADA, does your captain seriously intend to do a micro-jump in system with engines that haven't been powered in 70 years on a derelict ship?
That is what my captain intends, yes.
But that is a gross misuse of the skip drive. The Zero Point Drives Corp and I will not be held responsible for any damage incurred during transport. And this will cause...
Yes.
You should not be doing this. The human...
Thank you, Hope. It looks like all systems are go. Oh, good. We are still alive and have successfully skipped into Terra 2's orbit. I reported as much to Phineas Wells, but he has not responded. Perhaps you should check in on him.
Oh. I feel like I've been turned inside out. Let's not do that again.
Sweep.
Here they come!
Get ready! That's the last of them! Don't mess with us.
Captain, I shall now play the trans-
The board is here. They've found me somehow. They're about... I can't stop them from getting me. And there isn't... The board. All their lackeys, they're all a bunch of... You fucking pigs!
It would seem the recording captured some rather dire events. How can I be... Certainly, Captain. What would you like to... Why are obtuse angles so depressed? Because they are never right. As you wish, Captain. May luck be with you. We've arrived at Phineas's orbital lab. Captain. If you're the Captain, as it appears we may soon be embarking for our maximum security, I believe the crew would like to speak with you to...
So, Phineas got himself taken to Tartarus.
And here we are, entertaining the notion of busting...
To extract the scientist, you will need to infiltrate the labyrinth.
Ornery board goons and one-ply toilet paper for starters. But I hear their brainwashing program's state-of-the-art, so I guess you get used to it.
Still, we can't do nothing.
The armed surveillance protocols on a maximum security prison. I am programmed to warn you whenever you exhibit...
Getting in is the simple part. It's getting out again.
Let's just do it. Kick down some doors, grab Doc...
If you really mean to do this, you should see to your final affairs.
We gonna prepare?
Now that's a program I can...
Thinking on your feet's more important anyhow.
Yes, who needs a plan?
Crew members Ellie and Max are engaged in a heated discussion in the kitchen. I am pleased to inform you that we have arrived at the labyrinth. Please be advised that electrical storms on the surface of Tartar resident count is as follows: 3,071. The interior can be chilly. Take a scarf with you. I would also ask that you leave your captain's ID with me. I can make the assurance that I will not leave with another captain unless you do not return within 876,541,652 hours. Oh, speak of the devil. Captain, I am receiving a transmission.
Attention, unauthorized spacecraft. This is a maximum security installation. Your presence here is an explicit... You are hereby confined to your docking platform until a ticket detailing your crimes has been filed. I'm sorry, you people? Did you just cast a generalization on upstanding UDL employees? That's a fine of 200. You're up to 5,708, not including the cost of your All right. I'm feeling generous. I'm transmitting the idea of a productive, law-abiding employee. Anyway, Tartarus Docking Authority signing up. Wait, is that from the Groundbreaker? What the? Pay no mind to that. Just have a pleasant day.
Transmission terminated. Biometric ID received. How can I... Goodbye.
Captain did right by us once. So now the board will never own Groundbreaker. Not while I leave. Push on, Mardad.
Stay down. Garbage out the airlock. Got a promotion.
Are you new here? I didn't think we were hiring more staff. Oh, that's much appreciated.
Keen on walking into a prison. They lock me up, I'm liable to kill everyone trying to get back out.
Entering the labyrinth's the easy part. Making it back out. I'm still trusting your plan on that one, Captain. I suppose it would be too late to back out now, huh? Fear not, Captain. I will be back.
Let's go, troops. Stellar Base counting on us.
Looks like your path's at an end. Yeah, that's how we fucking do it.
Fate shines on us today.
Let's go, troops. Stellar Base counting on us.
Well done. We're still alive. Here we go! All right, MSI. I'm not one for rousing speeches, but the captain needs our help. So, get in there and fight!
This is nice. Calm before the storm and all that.
Everything in my life has been leading up to this point. I am, I believe I'm ready for this.
Captain, you have an uncanny talent for complicating my life. You've disrupted the balance of power. You've upset the natural order of things. Typical. Running your mouth in the middle of a crisis. It's almost as if you delight in chaos. My reports described you as one of Halcyon's sharpest minds. I can't imagine why you'd do something so irrational. I should have dealt with you a long time ago. You were always too dangerous. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised by your impertinence. Leaving you alive was my greatest mistake. I have Dr. Wells in my custody. Once I've secured his cooperation, I can move forward with the program. In that, we are in agreement. An end to violence is precisely what I want. An end to chaos. I take no pleasure in this, you know. I simply have... Leaving you alive is too great a risk. Fair enough. I'm giving you exactly one... Interesting that you think I'm going to die here. I believe I'm more than capable. Fair point. I don't know how you've managed to defy the odds. By every reasonable estimate, you should be dead. Yet here you stand. I've devoted my entire life to protecting Halcyon. I'm not afraid to die in the... Don't you think I know that? Yes, I made mistakes. Costly mistakes. You were always an unknown variable. I tried to recruit you, but you threw your lot in with that mad... This prison is equipped with an automechanical warden. I've had it programmed to eliminate you on sight. And don't worry. I will inform Dr. Wells that you died heroically, or...
Nicely done. Great work.
Don't mess with us!
Why won't you just die?
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You did the right thing. Akande was a monster. Her death was much deserved. And you lunatic, you broke into the board's own fortress just to rescue one doddering old man. Ah, all in a day's work for you. You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I would like nothing more than to celebrate this victory. Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in 3 years. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know.
So we've got to make do on our own. Seems to me that'll make us stronger in the end.
You're quite right. We've got no choice but to make...
Earth is only an idea to us. But that idea is the bedrock the colony is built upon. If people were to find out it's gone dark...
I don't want to imagine what'll happen once news gets out. Let's just keep this between us. We're in serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. Yes, we do. You've done a marvelous thing. You've succeeded where anyone else... We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds. And then, we're going to need a leader. And I can't imagine a... You won't hear a word of this. You're the best thing to ever happen to Halcyon. If you want to take it upon yourself to lead this colony, We're not a colony any longer, are we? Our last connection to Earth has been severed, and so we have been set free. Our future is uncertain, and no one knows what tomorrow holds. Exciting, isn't it?
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. Between MSI's worker-centric policies and the iconoclast's manpower, Sanjar and Zora were able to rally many of the Terra 2 townships to their cause. MSI's workforce swelled, and the iconoclasts enjoyed a significant surge in their ranks. The board was too distracted by infighting and internal politics to stop MSI from becoming a powerful corporation and a refuge for townships that might have fallen through the cracks. Consumed by paranoia, Lilia Hagen took Sublight Salvage in a controversial direction, openly accusing board officials of an extraterrestrial conspiracy. One day, an accident at the Groundbreaker's docking bay silenced her forever. Time would tell if her replacement could keep the Sublight family together. Adelaide McDevitt replaced Reed Thompson as the leader of Edgewater. She and her followers transformed Edgewater in their image. Anyone loyal to Reed was pressured into leaving town, and those who stayed behind adapted to her way of life. Adelaide transformed the old cannery into a new garden. The nearby Edgewater Cemetery provided a convenient source of fertilizer. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Your influence shifted Ellie's perspective. She finally admitted, albeit grudgingly, that she just might need other people. Sometimes. With a steady income from the life insurance payouts, she was finally able to afford a ship of her own. She hired a small crew and flew supply missions to communities on the fringe. Some of them were even legal. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony. Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with two hands. As much as he enjoyed his adventures aboard the Unreliable, the vicar, known as Max, eventually decided that it was time to move on, to live out the life he had sought so long to create. He knew there were many in the colony who carried burdens much worse than the ones he had struggled with, and he devoted himself to easing their suffering wherever he could. He only ever took up arms again to defend the defenseless. Unshackled from a lifetime of striving and fighting the universe and himself, Vicar Maximilian de Soto was finally at peace. Though Parvati eventually grew comfortable aboard the Unreliable, she never quite came out of her shell. She seemed to prefer the company of Ada to the crew, and she could often be found neck-deep in cables and grease, telling Ada funny stories from her childhood. While the colony fell into chaos, she found an island of relative peace with Ada, and they formed an unusual bond. She decided to remain aboard the Unreliable permanently as its chief and sole engineer. Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, a mercenary outfit of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories could find her camping on the trail or clearing an infestation. Before his untimely death, Captain Alex Hawthorne had plans to restore and modify, for combat purposes, a sanitation and maintenance automechanical that he'd found in a state of disrepair in Emerald Vale's scrapyard. That unit remains broken down and forgotten in the Unreliable supply closet to this day. Though Minister Clark was eventually released from house arrest, long years of isolation left him a changed man, little suited for bureaucratic work or for the colony that was changing around him. He remained in his estate largely by choice, fading from public view. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He eventually came to terms with his own past and was able to forgive the mistakes of his younger self by devoting his remaining years to serving the colony. In the end, Dr. Wells was able to save every scientist and engineer aboard the Hope. Over the next decade, nearly all of the Hope's remaining colonists were successfully revived. Halcyon saw a period of rapid technological and scientific advancement. Breakthroughs in dietary supplements saved the colony from starvation. Geoengineering projects and social reforms began to change the structure and character of the colony. Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Today, Halcyon has stabilized. The people of the colony work hard to adapt to their new circumstances. Nearby colonies send aid and supplies. Life will never be easy in Halcyon, but for the first time in its history, there exists a sense of real, genuine hope about the future. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? You brought an end to the chaos on Tartarus and proved yourself the most capable leader left in the colony. You administered the colony in your own image. With the old power of the board destroyed, a new government of Halcyon rose with you at its center. With your steady hand, you guided Halcyon through the turbulent years that were to follow, and helped ensure the survival of the colony until the end of your days. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.